Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good, people? Today I wanted to do a joint for my fellas right here. So, I'm titling this Seven Types of Men Who Will Have Trouble Getting Laid. All right, so a lot of times, dudes, they come out here in the game and they try to, you know, go out here and get some ass or just get a girlfriend or whatever you're trying to do with these ladies, right? And, what's going to happen is you're going to run into trouble if you are any of these seven types of dudes. You understand what I'm saying? So, pay attention to this. And then, at the end, I'm also, give you some tips on, what you can do to actually attract more women, get more sex, make things happen for yourself. All right. So here we go. So this is in no particular order of importance. I'm going to just, let it out and make it happen. All right. So number one is men who think that they have to be good looking to get chicks. So men who think they have to be good looking to get chicks are going to have a hard time getting women. All right. So what happens is that since you believe that already, if you believe that, and let's say you're not a good looking dude, you're going to already stop yourself because you're going to be like, well, what's the point of me even doing it because I don't look good? You're going to say, well, I have to be good looking to get these girls and all this other stuff. Now, on the flip side, if you are a good looking dude, it's going to fuck with you also. The reason why is because if you're a good looking guy, you're going to think, well, I don't need to learn the game. Well, I'm good looking. Chicks are going to want to, fuck with me. Right. And as a good looking guy myself, you know what I'm saying? I had to come to the realization that that is bullshit. You understand? And, and I actually had a lot of friends who are good looking, who modeled for, different clothing companies and all this other stuff. And they basically tell me the same shit where, as a good looking guy, a chick, she'll probably check you out or whatever, or she'll think the guy is cute, but that does not necessarily equate to him actually getting sex or really getting with her. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens with good looking guys is, what I call the whole pretty boy syndrome is that since you're good looking, and then if you're having trouble getting girls, you start to get, insecure because you're just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, because you thought your looks was going to get you by in the game. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes, you'll get a chick here and there who will want to fuck with you because you're cute. Usually that happens when you're younger, in the high school, probably college days or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's more than just looking good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can't think that just being good looking is going to get you girls. And if you do think that, it's going to mess you up, if you're good looking or you're not good looking, it doesn't matter. You understand? You got to understand that getting chicks and attracting women is more than just looking good. You understand? There's a whole lot of other things you got to understand about this. It's not about just looking good. So if you think just because you look good, it's going to be easy for you, you're sadly mistaken. And if you're a guy who's not so good looking and thinking, well, I'm just going to throw in the towel because I don't look good, then you're fucking it up for yourself because you're not putting yourself out there. So that's going to stop you from getting, sex and getting girls because you think, well, I can't do it because I'm not good looking. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I even had this dude who I was coaching one time, and, his problem was he basically was saying, he's like, oh, to date good looking women, you have to be a good looking guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's another stupid thing that guys think about. They're like, oh, well, in order to get a good looking chick, I have to be good looking, which is bullshit. You understand? So, the first thing is, men who think they have to be good looking to get chicks or to attract women are going to have trouble getting women. All right. So number two is men who think it will be easier for them to get girls if they have money. Number two is men who think it will be easier for them to get girls if they have money. Now, this shit is hilarious to me all the time when I hear this. Let me tell you why, right? See, having money, it will attract women to you because you have money. If they know you have money, you understand? Or if you, I guess, pretend you have money or whatever it is you're trying to do, with that situation. Now the girls, they'll they'll check you out. They'll sort of fuck with you in certain cases, right? But it doesn't make it easier for you to technically get them. Do you understand? Because there's a difference between, like having a girl or getting a girl that's like sort of like paying you attention and actually maintaining that situation. So you can get a girl to pay attention to you, but can you maintain it in order to get what you want? You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing as a guy who's, quote unquote good looking. Somebody might say, well, she's checking him out because he's good looking. Okay, fine. She's checking him out. But what are you going to do about that? Do you know how to maintain that? Do you know how to get her and keep her around in order for you to do what you want to do? Either that be sex or either that be a relationship. So the same thing goes with money. Okay, the girl's checking you out because let's say she knows you have money or you're at the club or somewhere and you popping bottles or you got a nice car outside or whatever. So she's like, oh, he got money, or she thinks you have money. Like, fine. Now she sees that. What are you going to do to maintain that? You understand? And a lot of guys think that, okay, well, since I have the money, it's going to be easier for me to get some sex. It's going to be easier for me to keep having sex with this girl or keep her around. You understand? But the thing is that you have to know how to maintain it. You have to know what you need to do in order to keep this girl around, in order to get what you want. Because sometimes you'll have a girl, let's say you have a nice car, a chick will be checking you out and you'd be like, yeah, let's take a ride in my car or whatever. And you thinking you about to get some ass and she's just using you to ride around in the car. And then she's like, okay, thank you. And whatever, you understand? So you're like, what the fuck happened? Like, I thought I was going to get some ass, you understand? Or, you have a whole bunch of money, you buying chicks drinks and all this other stuff. And then after the drinks is done, you're like, yeah, let's come back to my place. She's like, I don't know, so she's fronting. So what do you do to keep that going? And having money within itself is not going to make it easier for you. Do you understand? You still have to know what to do. That's kind of like, I always use this example is if let's say you wanted to make a movie, right? And someone said, oh, all I need to make a movie, it'll be so much easier if I had some camera equipment and some editing equipment, then I could go make a movie, right? It sounds logical, right? But fine, let's go buy camera equipment and let's go buy the editing software. Do you know how to use it? Do you know how to use the camera? Do you know how to set up shots? Do you know how to write a script? Do you know how to edit? Do you know how to use Final Cut Pro, Avid? Do you know how to use Premiere? Do you know how to do any of this stuff? So what does it matter that you have the equipment there? You don't know what the fuck to do. What does it matter? You have all the money. You don't know what the fuck to do when you get the chick there. You understand what I'm saying? So guys who think that just because you have the money, that it's going to be easier for you, you're fooling yourselves. And actually, in most cases, it'll fuck you over because a lot of these chicks, they see that you got money and then they see that you ain't got no game. And then they're like, oh shit, I got me a nice simp on my hands that I could just take advantage of. And that's what happens with a lot of guys sometimes. You understand? So, men who think that it's going to be easier for them to get girls if they have money, they're going to have a hard time attracting girls and getting sex and all of that, thinking and coming in with that mind state. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying that, it's impossible or, for you to get sex if a chick knows you have money. There are going to be some chicks who will fuck you because they're like, oh, he has a lot of money. I want to do him. Right. But you don't want to have that as your game. Like, oh, let me just try to get my money up and then it's going to be easier for me to get them. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't really work like that. I mean, you could buy some hoes if you want, which I don't suggest. But, I mean, other than that, it's just like, okay, fine, you got the money, now what? And what do you do in order to maintain this? That's the point. All right, so moving on to number 3. So number 3 kind of goes with number 2. So this is the type of guy who will have trouble getting laid is men who use their money to try to get girls. So let's say you actually have money, right? And this is where all the simping and the tricking goes, where it happens. Where a guy, let's say his reality is he has a lot of money. He actually can afford that car. He has a nice spot or whatever. But he doesn't really have the game But what he's doing is he's flashing the money around, and trying to make that happen. With that, he's trying to, pay for this, pay for that in order to get sex from girls. Now, again, you can get sex from a whore if you want and pay her straight up. But generally speaking, there's a lot of girls who are out here, and a lot of guys don't want to tell you this because they don't want to look like a sucker. But there's a lot of girls out here who know a dude has a lot of money, and they know that that's his game, which is to give, the woman the money or buy her this or take her out there. So what they do is they string him along for as long as possible without fucking him. You know what I'm saying? And they'll take all the money. You understand that he's giving them. So, I have a friend who she basically told me that there's this guy she was dealing with for 2 years, dealing with this dude for 2 years, and never had sex with the guy. And the guy gives her money, takes her on trips, do all this other shit. You understand what I'm saying? But he's not getting no ass. You understand? So, a lot of guys, when their mentality is, well, I'm going to get, some ass by, tricking and simping. You understand? It's just not the way to go. Now, at some point they could find a chick who will have sex with them for doing all that stuff. But a lot of times it comes with a lot of them having to put in so much time, energy, and money in order to even get it to that point. You understand? Like I have another story. I had a friend who me and him met this chick at this spot, and we was like just chilling, and then he was talking to her, and then we went to another spot and he told her to come along. So it was me, her, and him, and he was buying her drinks all night. Then we went to another spot. He was buying her a whole bunch of shit. And I'm just like, dude, like, what the fuck? So then I was like, look, I'm going to go home. I'm going to holler at y'all later. You know what I'm saying? So the next morning, the dude hits me up, and he's leaving the hotel room with her, right? And the dude, basically, after he done spent like $300 something that night on food and drinks, you understand what I'm saying? He spent another $150 for that night at the hotel. So basically, dude spent almost $500 just trying to get sex from this girl. You understand what I'm saying? So he's using his money to try to get the girls. Now you're going to say, okay, well, he did get sex by using his money. But what you got to understand is that the point is that you're going to have trouble getting women and getting consistent sex by doing that, because this is what it's about. It's about you understanding what you want. And a lot of guys who email me and contact me, they're saying, look, I want to get more sex. I want to have sex consistently. I want to have an abundance of women and all this other stuff. And if you having to trick and do all this other stuff to get women and have to go through all of that, it's going to make it harder for you to actually make that happen or make it consistent. Because let's say, for example, something happens where you come up on, hard economic times. So now you're going to be like, well, damn, I can't get no ass because I don't got no money. That's going to be your mentality, which again is going to make you have trouble getting laid. You understand what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. All right. So moving on, number 4, this type of guy will have trouble getting laid. Number 4 is a guy who's trying to be friends with a girl first. So a lot of guys still think that it's a good idea to be friends with a chick, and then maybe later she's going to like me enough after she sees I'm such a nice guy that, she'll just be with me, or she'll have sex with me. Some guys actually, hope that a chick will fuck them out of pity. You know what I'm saying? Which is just like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So guys who try to be friends with girls first and then hope that's going to get them sex, it's not going to happen. Because again, these girls know what you're doing. They know that you want to fuck them, but they're like, hey, I'm going to stick around and hang out with this guy because he's giving me attention, making me feel special, boosting my ego. But she's not going to have sex with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. So guys who think that this is the route to go, you're wasting your time. It's not going to happen. And these guys are going to have trouble, in the long run getting laid, because I talked about this in my book, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. they're going to have trouble because what they're doing is they're setting themselves up to be a guy who basically approaches women or deals with women in a friendly manner so that they get used to that type of vibe when they're dealing with women. You understand? See, there's a certain energy that you have to give off when you're trying to attract girls, or you're really flirting with girls, or you want to get things done, on a date, sexual level with a chick. And if you are coming into interactions, being friends with girls, then you're going to get used to that type of thing because that's what you're comfortable with. You're comfortable being the friendly guy. And then what's going to happen is, let's say you're friends with this one girl, then you're going to meet another girl and you're going to do the same exact thing, which is going to make you get in a position to make it harder for yourself to get asked because you're going to get so used to being, the friend zone guy. You haven't built your skills, well enough to actually be the type of dude who knows how to get girls, aroused and get them attracted to you in a sexual way. You're not in that zone. You're not focused on that. Even though in the back of your head you want that, you don't know how to do it. You're not focused on it because you're too busy trying to be a woman's friend. You understand what I'm saying? So then what happens is you go to the next girl and you end up being in the friend zone with her. You understand? That's going to make it harder for you to get laid. All right? Number 5. This one is always hilarious to me. Number 5 is men who seek out relationship advice from women. Now, I talked about this a million fucking times. You guys need to stop listening to these ladies when they tell you about how to get chicks. They don't know. They have no idea. And they are telling you things from, a woman's perspective of what they would like and not what they respond to. This is the thing. It's women. They're going to tell you all the nice shit, and then you do that nice shit, and then it doesn't work. They're like, yeah, be nice, buy her flowers, tell her how much you like her, do this and do that. They're telling you all these things that they want a guy to do, but they don't tell you what works. They don't tell you what's going to make them want to drop drawers and get on their knees and suck your dick. They're not going to tell you that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? One, because they don't know. And if by chance they are the type of chicks who might know or kind of are, like really have that awareness to know, they don't want to even explain it to you because a lot of times it sounds like nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? Because a girl, this is what a girl would really tell you if she knew how to tell you how to get chicks. You understand what I'm saying? She would say some shit like, listen, when you meet a girl, just do what the fuck you want. Don't listen to all the bullshit she's telling you that she wants to do, and be yourself to the fullest, and be kind of a dick if you feel like it. You understand what I'm saying? That's the shit that's the shit that they respond to. They respond to guys who are just like, hey, I'm just doing what the fuck I want to do, which is why they have the whole, they like the bad boy thing, because that's what the bad boy is about. He does not give a fuck about what she's trying to do. He's like, look, this is what I'm doing. And you either get with the program or you get left behind. And that's what it is. You understand what I'm saying? But women are not going to say that because they don't want to sound like, oh, they're succumbing to that type of shit. So this is why when chicks try to give you relationship advice, they always give you the wrong advice. And then if you listen to that, you're going to have trouble getting laid because you are going to basically be following what this woman said, which is not going to help you. You understand? And again, like I said, a lot of chicks, they just don't know. They don't know. They don't know what to tell you. You understand? Because they don't understand it really. It's something that's subconscious and something that they react to when they feel it, but they don't really know how to explain it to you because they're a woman, so they will never know they don't know what it feels like to be a man trying to attract women. They don't understand it because they're not men. You understand? So just off of that aspect, they're not in a position to really even give you that type of advice. Now, again, I remember I did a video a while ago where I said women give the worst relationship advice. And in it, I was saying that, there are certain women who are dating coaches who, coach men. And there are a couple who know what the fuck they're talking about in certain cases, right? But they're rare. But generally speaking, even if a woman's a dating coach or a woman that you just know, from somewhere or whatever, and they're giving you advice on how to get girls, just don't take that shit seriously. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Seriously, they just don't. And if you listen to that, you're going to have trouble getting laid. That's what I'm telling you, all right? Now, number 6 is men who put women's looks on a pedestal. All right? Men who put a woman's looks on a pedestal. So now you've heard the phrase putting the pussy on a pedestal or whatever. But this is a little bit different, where I say men who put women's looks on a pedestal are going to have trouble getting laid, because this is what basically that is that there's a lot of guys who they'll and these are usually guys who aren't that good at attracting girls and who don't have that much experience getting with women. They still have this thing in their head where they're like, oh, a really hot chick is like the dream. Like, oh, she just has to be hot. And if she's hot, then she's perfect. So what happens is that these type of guys, they go out, seeking that type of chick. And most of these guys don't even approach these girls or try to, but it's just like they have this thing in their head that they want this type of girl. So now let's say they actually do basically approach this girl. They get confident and they're like, okay, I'm going to go and talk to these girls. What they do is that, if they actually get a girl who looks good, or they're talking to a girl who looks good, or a girl who looks good, says, hey, yeah, well, she wants to go out with him or whatever. He puts the looks so much on a pedestal that he doesn't, notice anything else. He doesn't notice how she acts. He doesn't notice, what she's saying, what she's doing. He doesn't notice what he should be doing in order to get what he needs, because he's just so hyped off the fact that this chick is hot. You understand? He's like, okay, well, but she's hot. Like and then also a lot of times the guys like this, what happens is that they get nervous around these chicks because they're putting the looks on a pedestal. They think, oh my God, she looks so good. She's so hot. And his heart is beating fast or whatever. And then what happens is that he's not focused on the interactions he's having with her. And then he kind of like messes things up, and then he ends up not getting sex. You understand? Or, he's dealing with a chick who's, hot, or he's trying to get with this chick who's hot. And, he's not really noticing that she's fucking crazy. You understand what I'm saying? Or she's on some bullshit, or she's not bringing anything to the table. And then he misses out on the signs that are showing him that this is not really going to work out, because the way that she is basically dictating that nothing is really going to really end up happening between him and her, but he doesn't really notice it because of, her looks. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's so blinded by the fact that she's hot that he's going to, mistake what's really going on, and he ends up not getting shit popping. You understand? And another thing too with this is that, when the guy that puts a woman's looks on a pedestal, what happens is that he starts to become extra picky, because a lot of these guys that do this, they're looking for a chick that's super hot for validation. You understand? It makes him, it'll make him feel better about himself by getting a hot chick. So then he becomes extra picky. He's like, oh, I want the hottest girl. So then he sees girls who are, who are cute, who look good, who are cool chicks to fuck with. But then he doesn't even bother to try to holler, because he's like, oh no, I'm waiting for the next hot thing. You understand what I'm saying? Or I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. So he gets extra picky. And since he gets extra picky, it's harder for him to get sex, because he's not really putting himself out there to, talk to more women, because the looks is so important to him. That's like the most important thing, because he wants that validation. He's like, oh, the looks are the end all be all. And then that becomes his focus of how he interacts with women. And, since he becomes extra picky and all this other stuff I was just mentioning before, it makes it harder for him to get ass and to get girls, because he's like just basically chasing the hot chick thing. You understand? He's not really like paying attention to anything else that's, getting him closer to sex. He's just, his goal is the hotness. His goal is that hot chick, but not really focusing on what he needs to do to get sex. You understand what I'm saying? So he's going to have trouble getting laid. Now, the last one, number 7, and this is, basically obvious that most guys keep forgetting, is that, the type of guy who's going to have trouble getting laid is a man who's not confident. All right. And, I talk about confidence in a lot of my programs and products and everything. And, I explained it really great in my DVD, How to Pick Up and Date Multiple Women seminar, and also the Bad Boys Guide to Dating. And, it's very important that men understand confidence and be confident and understand, what confidence is. You understand? A lot of guys, they're insecure. They don't think that, they don't think highly of themselves. They think they have nothing to be proud of. They think that they're worthless, or whatever it is they think. Is a whole bunch of stuff that they think. But, your confidence is going to help you get women. And if you're not confident, if you lack confidence, if you are, insecure, if you think you're not good enough, I mean, that's just, you're just not going to get ass. It's just not going to go down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, see, chicks, first of all, a chick, if she's dealing with a dude or she's talking to a guy who's confident, it's a turn on for her. Because let me tell you something. A lot of chicks are insecure, right? So chicks are always looking for the come up. You understand what I'm saying? They're always looking for the come up. So they want a guy who they look at as something that they don't have, that they want to be with or want to be a part of. They want to be around that thing. This is why chicks like celebrities, and they're like, it's like this thing where, oh, this guy has all this stuff going on. And even again, like we was talking about earlier, where a guy who has money, a chick will be attracted to him. But again, like I said, you have to still maintain that. But a chick, she'll be like, okay, this guy has money, so I'll try to stick with him. And this is also again why dudes think that that's the end all be all with money. But I talked about that earlier. But anyway, but a chick, she's insecure. She wants that come up. She wants the thing that looks the best and who is the best. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to basically show her, or not even show her, but you have to be it. You have to be the best, and once you are that, then she will be attracted to you. So guys who are not confident, who are insecure, they're showing that they're not, they're not the best. They're not there. They're you're basically projecting that you're someone who has nothing really to bring to the table. You understand? Because she wants that to be a part of that team. You understand? And if she sees that you're confident, it shows her that you are that dude that she needs to be with. Because she's like, I want to be attached to this guy. You understand? Because for a lot of chicks, and this is sad too, because I always try to tell chicks, look, you need to feel confident within yourself in order to, feel better about yourself and get things going. But a lot of chicks, what they do is that they attach themselves to guys who are confident, and being with that guy makes her feel good. You understand what I'm saying about herself? So having a lack of confidence is going to make her not want to fuck with you, and that's going to make it harder for you to get ass and harder for you to attract women. So, so to wrap this up, man, because I'm going on half an hour. Wow, I'll be getting it in on these. But to wrap this up, I just want to tell you guys, like, look, man, in order for you to really make it easier for yourself to get girls and to get sex or whatever, You know, be confident and basically love yourself. You understand your value. Also learn the game, because a lot of times the reason why you have guys who think that you have to be good looking to get girls, or they think, oh, I have to have money and it's going to make it easier for me, or they think, oh, well, if I'm a girl's friends first, then maybe this will happen, or hey, maybe if I take some advice from a woman, because if I want to get women, I should ask a girl, and a girl will tell me the right thing. So if you're thinking all this stuff, it's basically, you thinking all these things is basically showing that you don't understand the game. You don't understand women. You don't understand attraction. You don't understand how it goes in this game. So you have to learn the game. And this is why, I make podcasts like this for you guys to understand the game and, get away from these myths and misconceptions of the game. You understand what I'm saying? And, and another thing is too, is that, you guys should not be putting limits on yourself, because a lot of times what happens is if you believe the wrong information, believing that, hey, well, I got to be a good looking guy to get a good looking girl, you're going to limit yourself, because if you're not the best looking guy, you're going to think, well, damn, well, I can't get a hot chick. And then therefore you're not going to get a hot chick, not necessarily because you don't look good, but because in your mind, you put that limit on yourself. You said, well, I can't get hot girls. So you're going to do things and start to act in certain ways and start to feel certain things and be certain ways in order for you to not get those girls. Because basically what you're telling yourself, you're going to make it come true. It's going to come true because you're telling yourself this. You're going to say, well, I can't get hot girls because I'm not a good looking guy. Guess what? You're not going to get hot girls because you're telling yourself you're not going to get hot girls. It has more to do with what you're telling yourself versus the reality of you being a guy who's not good looking. You understand? It doesn't matter if you're good looking or not. It's the belief that you had about yourself, which is why you're not getting those girls. You feel what I'm saying? And guys, if you need any help, remember, go to MrLocario.com, MrLocariotv.com, get my books, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men, get my DVDs, How to Pick Up and Date Multiple Women Seminar, get the Bad Boys Guide to Dating, and also make sure you join the membership program. Make sure you join the membership program. The membership is 45 to 90 minute audios, videos of exclusive how-to advice. All right, to step up your game. So that is about it. Also, if anyone wants me to advertise their business or service on these podcasts, hit me up. Click the advertise button on top of MrLocariotv.com. If you need to ask me a question about anything, hit me up at askmrlocario@gmail.com. All right, so that is it, and I am out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace.